Are you ready? 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 Are you ready for the Year of Shame Challenge?
Hello, good evening and welcome. Welcome to, this is the February episode of Year of Shame, Year 4. We're in February, people. We're in February. We've made it. Well, I'll say we've made it. It's only
we haven't really made it at all, have we?
Chuffing 2 months in. I can't help it. So here we are. I'm going to be your Han Solo or your David Lister for the evening. I'm going to be driving the show as best I can.
Are you going to shoot first if you're being the Han Solo?
Yeah, oh, God damn I am. So here I am. My name's Neale Jarrett, best known as Baron Von Pleb, and with me, as always, my brothers in not buying video games. I've got AD, Jayce, and Matt. How are you, gents?
Marvellous.
Top drawer.
Fantastic.
I'm better when this cold goes, but I'm all right.
So, have you got that from somebody at work? Has somebody passed that on to you, or is it just one of those ones that you've got from a dirty whore?
It's just one of them random ones, mate. It's terrible. I don't know where it's come from. I'm not going to try and track that. It might be going down a rabbit hole I don't want to go down.
Yeah,
again.
Especially on again. Yeah, exactly. Because that's where you got it from in the first place. Okay, so this is Year of Shame. This is the podcast. This is a monthly podcast. Now, what is Year of Shame? Now, if you've never listened to us before, then naughty, but you need to go back and redo. But those that have, thank you very much for staying with us. This is a challenge where 4 of us on the podcast are doing our utmost to not buy video games as much as possible in the year 2016. Now, we have got a fellow community members that are joining us on that journey, and we'll talk about them as we go through and what they're doing. But it's really just 12 months of doing our utmost to not buy video games and work off our pile of shame. So it's about the journey more than anything. It's and it's inheriting how hard it is and how stressful it is and how much paranoia you get. So, guys, how are we doing? How is everybody?
I'm coping all right, I think.
Yeah?
We're moving on to feelings, I suppose, at the moment. Yes.
Yeah, well, I think it's I think feelings, but I think it's just kind of like, I think, how do we feel since the last show? I mean, what's happened to us all since the last show? Do we think?
Not a lot of gameplay in my case.
Even
though I said on the last show and I said on the show before that next time I'm going to play more games, I haven't. So I expect my progress seems to be short when we get to that. But yeah, generally feelings are all right. I think there's been a lot more people getting on board on the community stuff. Which has really buoyed me as well. It's really good to see people getting involved. The excuses are starting to wheedle in and stuff, and we'll cover that bit later on.
Yes.
So yeah, it's interesting me still.
It is. But the thing is I think the last show's gone down really well, hasn't it, as well? I think a lot of people have enjoyed what's happening. And it's actually, hasn't it done well on iTunes as well, Jayce?
Yeah, we've done really well, actually. And a big thanks to a lot of our user base, obviously, has come from the Midlife Gamer guys. As obviously, we're all part of that. And after your stupendous effort of promoting the show on the Midlife Gamer podcast, which was wonderful, Neale, I thank you for that. We had loads more downloads. We had loads of people getting involved and listening to the show and giving us feedback. We did get into the charts for the our category, which is games and hobbies.
Yeah, we did.
We were up, certainly, I think we peaked at 22 for one day, but we're certainly around the 50 and 60 mark on that chart for quite a while, duking it out a bit with the Midlife Gamer podcast and with Major Nelson for a little bit, so that was quite good. So hopefully we can break the internet this time if everyone else gets involved and all downloads it. We did get into new and noteworthy as well, so that was quite nice to see our names up there. I think what will help us to stay in that position, which people need to do, is do us some iTunes reviews. We've had a couple of good ones. We're going to talk about those later on. But more iTunes reviews will help us to keep this momentum and stay up in the charts.
We've got our first spam email, didn't we, today, regarding the new and noteworthy?
Yeah,
that was quite funny.
Yeah, that was quite good. I saw your podcast on the new and noteworthy. Would you like to pay me some money? No, go away.
No, why would I? We're on new and noteworthy, you dick. Why on earth?
He sounded like a very, very nice man, though.
Yeah, but I'm sure you sent that email to about another 1,000 people that day.
Oh, don't ruin it for me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I like nice emails when people ask us how we are.
Yeah, he didn't mean it. It
No.
was a copy and paste. It was a mail merge, definitely.
Damn it.
Yeah. So, okay, so we're into the feeling sections. Let's thoughts and feelings about how we're doing. We're into February, people. So I'm going to come straight over to Matt, if you don't mind, Matthew. How are you doing at the moment?
How am I doing? I am doing a Jayce. I've had a month since the last show when I made massive progress, cleared loads of games off, all guns are blazing. I've hardly played anything. I think the size of the challenge is sort of weighing on me slightly, and I found myself sat in front of my console or the PC and thinking, well, I've got to play something on the list. This is my list for the year. What do I want to play? Oh, I don't want to play any of that. This is shit. And getting really grumpy, and then about an hour later I still haven't clicked on anything, and I go, I'll go to bed. So it's had a bit of a funny effect on me this month, and I'm struggling. I think starting Far Cry was, which I'll get to later, but probably wasn't the best thing because of the size of it, and that's a bit daunting. And I've I need to tick something off, but I don't know what to tick off yet because I don't want to waste anything, because I don't want to go too early with the sort of easy challenges and the easy finishes. So I've been a bit conflicted, really. I'm hoping that's going to change, because at the minute I'm thinking, fuck this shit. I like chatting to you guys. I love the whole challenge. I love the feedback we get. It's a brilliant thing to do, but from a gaming point of view, it's kind of hit me. It blindsided me a bit this month. So
see, the thing is, Matthew, is I kind of understand where you're coming from. You've got this kind of, this month is like the first wave of paranoia. Like, I need new games. I've got nothing. Even though you're looking at games you know you got to play. You know what you need to do?
What's that?
Is don't look at another big title, like another game to tick off. Just play something casually. Play some Rocket League. Play some Helldivers or something like that. Something you can just keep you into video games, so you're not losing faith in what you're doing. Yeah. Because if you're trying to keep on tick off and you're trying to jump into that next title, it's going to fuck with your head.
Yeah, and that's what it is doing. And I haven't even got Helldivers on my pile, so it can't really go into the later section. So that's been a good one, because that refreshed my joy of gaming for the sake of gaming. And I had a date with you, Neale, and another couple of community members, which was interesting. How did you enjoy it, Neale?
Let's move on. We'll talk about that later. So you're feeling. Are you starting to? Do you think you're starting to feel the pressure then?
I think so. I'll cover it off in what we've missed or are about to miss. But yeah, some things made me think, God, I've really got to make choices this year. And
yeah, I know where you're going with this. I've seen your tweets.
So yeah, I think it's become real this month.
Shit's got real.
Shit's got real.
It does get real, but it only gets more real, boys, as you go further on. I don't want to alarm you, but what is it? 2 months in.
Yeah.
Yep.
We've got at least 44 weeks left or something, haven't we? How many weeks have we got left? 42,
something like
44.
Don't put it like 45. That. Don't do it in weeks. Can we do it in like seasons or something?
I can do it in seconds if you really fucking want.
Yeah.
3.5 seasons left.
You got to stay strong, though, Matthew.
I will.
What you're doing is for the greater good. It's just like Hot Fuzz. Okay, moving on then. But obviously, come back at any particular points if you've got any. If anything pops to mind, Matt. AD, how are you doing, mate? How's things with you?
I'm doing absolutely awesome. I'm loving this challenge. I am Mr. Motivated and Mr. I'm going to get all these games played off my list. I'm absolutely smashing it at the minute. I've got to admit, I have got one eye on things on the horizon, and I'm beginning to kind of panic and worry. But actually, as I said earlier, I've got 6 games that I've got off my list this month. Along with that, I've also completely decorated my lounge. And I've also joined the gym and started going to the gym every other day. So
yeah,
as well as kind of getting the games off my list, I'm also kind of getting everything else done as well.
Can we add that as a tagline? Like, Year of Shame, good for your health.
It changes your fucking life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Mr. Motivator.
Meet the new you. You're
With-
getting a chalk and cheese with Matthew, then, isn't
Yeah,
it?
he's the yin to my yang, I think.
Yeah, I've absolutely loved it. I mean, some of the we'll go on to that later, but some of the games I've kind of got off my list of kind of either very, very small games, or they're ones I've decided, do you know what, they're not going to be on my list, and I've just took them off. However, I think what Neale said earlier, Matt, is quite good. I kind of finished a big 130-hour game and went straight onto something that I was done within 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
And I've kind of done that this month, and I now feel like I'm ready to get back into something big again.
That's my problem. I haven't got many 3 to 4 hour games on my list, so I'm trying to space them out. I'm conscious that if I spunk them all early, then I've just got Fallout 4 and Far Cry to play, and it might kill me.
I think I've got a solution for you later, Matt, but we'll talk about it towards the end. I think I've got a plan of action for you, dude. It's all right. So, Adi, you're doing good then, Aid. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, as I say, I've got one eye on things that are on the way, with a kind of squeaky bum time coming up. But we'll get onto that later. But yeah, apart from that, I'm tickety boo.
Nice. And Jayce, I think you've already mentioned how you're doing.
Yeah, I'm not doing. In terms of the challenge, I'm doing pretty good. I'm not doing very well with ticking things off, but I'm kind of taking a bit of a backseat and watching everybody else's reactions. Obviously, having done it before, I know how the feelings go. So it's been good watching people's Twitters and watching people's Facebooks. And there's been lots of announcements recently, because obviously things are ramping up towards later in the year.
Crackdown
now, and it's like. So Crackdown was announced and things like that, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's really good. I'm hoping for a February 2017 release for that bad boy.
Get delayed.
But it's just like there's more hype building obviously around the Division and things like this. So people have played the beta, and it's like what people think about it. And then there's the other games we're going to talk about that have come out, and it's just I'm enjoying watching other people who maybe underestimate the challenge a little bit, going, oh shit, it's getting real. Then these people haven't even seen what it's like when September comes and you've got Eurogamer and all the Christmas announcements come out. It's going to be fucking hellish.
So basically, you're telling us is you're feeding off our actual panic and paranoia.
Oh yeah, it's the best thing. And one of the reasons I've been not playing the games off my list is because I've realised I've got so many other games that are on my list that are not on my list, but on my devices that I really enjoy. So I was looking down my Steam list, thinking, right, I'm going to play Transistor on my Steam list, and I scroll down STTR. Trackmania. Right, I'm fucking play Trackmania for the whole night, and I don't get to play Transistor and stuff like that. So I've been doing a bit of that. I've been catching up on old gems that I really enjoyed. So that's all right. I'm not playing a massive amount of games at the moment, but generally in terms of the challenge, I'm still positive. So there we go.
Excellent. I think as a veteran, I think you've got that advantage, that backseat advantage of just watching us lose our shit.
It just adds another dimension to it for me. But I will say now, and I will repeat it probably every episode from now on, this could be the most difficult year to do a year of shaming in terms of what games are coming out, what franchises are being reinvigorated. There's a lot of things that are already coming out and promised for the next 6 to 8 months that are going to be terrible. I'm just so happy I'm not a PlayStation player.
Jayce.
Yes, mate.
You're not helping.
Oh no, I'm not here to help, mate. I'm not here to help at all. There's no entertainment value in me helping you out.
He just wants to feed off your sorrow.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think we'll cover. I think I know those couple of games that you're mentioning, Jayce. I think we might talk about them later on if we get opportunity, if we don't run out of time, because I think there's a couple of ones that I know that have sparked a little bit of fear in you. So I think we can mention later. Me personally, I think I was doing really well, and I was kind of, I felt a little bit like Adi. I was like, I'm getting things done. I've got some spare money I can spend on other things. This is fantastic. And then I played the Division beta, and things started to get a little bit fragile around me, and I started to panic and think, right, what do I do? Because the Division is the typical game that I would normally buy and jump feet first into, and then after 3 weeks move on to the 2 weeks, move on to the next game. So my kind of faith has been tested a little bit about what to do around the division. But I know I'm still doing. Personally, I'm still doing well. I'm still enjoying being on the challenge. I mean, actually seeing the money difference that I'm not spending, which is fantastic. Strange not having rental gains turn up for those games that you always wanted to kind of play and get ticked off your kind of lists. But I'm doing all right. So I think we're a bit of a mixture, guys.
Yeah,
aren't we?
I think we've got balance.
We got some balance to it. So, okay. Has anybody got anything else? Any bits and bobs they want to mention in this particular section before we move on?
I think I'm the same as you, just mentioning the division. I played the beta, and to be honest, it didn't make me want to go out and buy it.
Ooh.
So
how come?
I don't know. It just didn't grab me.
I'm kind of with you, AD. Actually, I'm on the fence about it.
Did you play it, Jayce?
I played the beta briefly. I'm looking forward to the open beta, which starts on Friday, I think, for us PlayStation people, and some Thursday for you lot. And I'm hoping to get some game time with other people, because my beta experience was a very rushed one, and I played solo, and it just didn't grab me.
You can't play it solo.
This is the thing.
And the thing is that they've said in the kind of the patch notes that what they're doing between the closed beta and the open one is that they're going to make it feel, especially in the dead zone, which is the more kind of...
Which is a good name for how it is at the minute, which is pretty dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly,
yeah. The tumbleweed zone. Is they're going to make it more populated with enemies and what have you, and make it a lot more... with a lot more drops, so you've got you actual kind of air drops a lot more frantic and things like that. Did you not play it at all then, Jayce? Is this not on your type of radar at all?
I think if I had gone and got myself into the beta and started enjoying it, it would have opened up a massive crack in my resolve. So I decided to just fucking ignore the whole thing altogether. I know the division exists. I have played a little bit of it before, and I don't really care. That's the line. I do care. I fucking really do care. But I'm drawing the line and saying I don't care, so that it doesn't open that crack in my resolve. There we go. That's all I'm saying on the matter of division.
You have got a good stance, dude. Honestly, I admire your kind of unwavering kind of stance on things. That's awesome.
There's also the stance of if I don't spend money on games, I can spend it on parts of my bike as well. So that's always helping.
You and your bike.
Yeah.
Has it got? Can you buy a vagina part for it?
I've got one of those. Yeah, that comes with
excellent.
it.
Is that underneath the saddle, or is that like a bit up against a mudguard?
It's one of them where the saddle converts. Maybe talking shit now. Move on.
Okay, well, let's move on. Let's move into games that we've missed.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this is where it's going to be a little bit more interesting than last week. Last month. There's especially, I know there's at least 4 games on here on the list that's in front of me, maybe even 5 that we give a bit more weight to this week than regarding next. So we're going to start at the top, and these are games that we are since the last recording that have come out since the last recording. And by all means, we've probably missed a couple, but these are the ones that we managed to kind of round up between us. So first and foremost, first on the list, and I think it's going to be, again, quite a controversial one, and one that I know that one person that's sitting to my left, his name begins with M, is really disappointed and down in the dumps he's not playing. The Witness.
Yeah, now this is a funny one, because I had no interest in this at all. I think Jonathan Blow is a little bit of a pretentious wanker, which might be controversial.
He's got nothing but good things to say about you, though, Matt.
I was saying, he's a fan of yours.
It might be controversial, but... And I didn't get on with Braid.
There's one subscriber we've lost.
Sorry, that's it.
Sorry, Jonathan.
Bye, Jonathan.
But
Please stay,
everyone
Jonathan.
has been singing the praise of this game. I like a good puzzler, and it looks like it's a good puzzle, a rewarding one where you'll get stuck, but you will work it out, and when you do, you feel good about it. And set in a really lovely looking world. And this went from being not remotely on my radar to shit. So yeah, this is going on my list of games for 2017. Definitely, this is one that's on my wish list.
It's gonna be one of those free to play games in 2017, dude. Honestly, this is gonna be a PlayStation Plus game next year. I can feel it in my piss water.
It will, I think, and that's good. And I'm happy to get it at that price. And I'll still enjoy it because people have been pretty good about not spoiling it. I think it's a hard one to spoil because it's quite cryptic anyway, and unless you're playing it and you're seeing the puzzles, it doesn't mean a lot when people let stuff slip. So I'm happy to wait, but I do feel like I missed out a little bit not being there when everyone else was. So yeah, that was a miss for me. That was what I did want.
I think I've seen people with like graph paper.
Yeah.
Working shit out.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, don't tell me that. Sounds awesome.
Yeah, seriously, I've seen tweets from people that they've got like notebooks that they've created to work out the puzzles. It's all in graph paper and cutouts, so like Tetris pieces in cutouts and stuff.
Yeah,
and that intrigues me, but blows my mind at the same time.
Yeah, apparently it's got a very good meta game,
Definitely.
and it's not just a meta game for the sake of it. You literally do have to get your pad out, get your graph paper out, draw the puzzle out and try and figure it out, which I think is really good in this day and age to have that and not rely on an iPad app or something to complement it. You literally get your pencil and paper out. But I'll wait. I'm fine with it. That one's not a problem for me.
How about you, AD, with The Witness?
Yeah, I would have bought that if I hadn't been on this challenge. It's one of those that, again, as Matt said, I knew nothing about it. I hadn't even heard about it. I hadn't seen a preview. And then I listened to one of the podcasts that I listened to, and it was one of those I would have gone home that night and just gone and bought it because they raved and raved and raved about it. But It will be... I mean, I have got a PlayStation, but I don't tend to play it a lot. So this, for me, will be a fingers crossed, and it'll come out on the Xbox in January. And I'll pick it up then. But it would have been a purchase for me.
Do you think you would have purchased it, played it for 20 minutes, and then it would have gone straight on the pile, though? Or would it have been those games that would have gripped you enough that you wanted to play it to completion?
I think this would have been one that I would have just played and played and played until I probably the brain power that I possess would have failed me. And then
so about 23 minutes then.
22 and a half.
I give up.
And then I may have done the easy way out and resorted to Google and then ruined the whole kind of thing for me. But I don't know. It's, I say, when I hear those games that come out of nowhere and people rave about, they're the ones that tempt me. But no, I'm not doing it. It's it can wait for me.
Is this PlayStation only, or is it on Steam as well?
PlayStation
and Steam.
Steam, right. Well, that'll be on my list for Steam Games 2017. Thank you very much. Bye.
Yeah, and there is talk about him bringing it to iOS, I think, which is probably meant to be the first one. That's
now
out.
we're talking.
and obviously iOS doesn't come under this challenge.
For Jayce, anyway.
Thanks to Marvel Puzzle Quest, so I might be playing it a bit sooner.
I'll call you out if you get it on iOS over you too. I will call you out.
You won't know.
You don't.
I'm watching you.
Yeah, I saw some tweets. He's been looking for some programmers to take it to iOS. He's like very recently, so it'll be a couple of months before it reaches. But yeah, that's interesting. Interesting. Jayce, is The Witness on your radar at all?
It's because it's PlayStation, mate. It wasn't on my radar at all. I will pick it up on Steam, but I'm in no rush to do so. It seems to me like one of them games that, because it's a puzzly game, it's kind of endless in life. There's no sort of limited window of playing it.
Yeah.
I understand Matt's thing of obviously playing it when everybody else isn't, and the chat's still good about it. But I think it can wait. Interesting, no more.
For me, sorry, I was halfway through drinking, almost choked. For me, I don't know. I like a puzzle game, but I don't. There's got to be something about it that really grips me. Like, there's got to be an underpinning story that really pulls me in and wants me to kind of complete it. So, but saying that, I was very much into Portal and Portal 2. They were fantastic puzzle games. that really did draw you in with the characters and things. I don't know whether Witness has got that. I don't know much about it. Because I'm on the challenge, I've tried to stay away from the details of many games. So I'm probably speaking very flippantly and blindly, but I don't know much about it. I'm very happy for this to be on my PlayStation. Like I said to AD earlier on, I think this will be on PlayStation Plus, Matt, earlier on, and I'll pick it. I'll play it then maybe, but then I'll just cheat. I'll just go for the walkthroughs. Fuck it, Okay, so let's move on. The next one on the list, which I'm unsure whether this is going to go, how this is going to go with everybody. The new Lego game came out, so Lego Marvel Avengers. Does anybody play Lego games here?
Nope.
I've got some, but I really rarely play them. I don't think I've ever actually completed one all the way through.
It's not something that you play with your little ones then, AD, Matt?
No, Joshua loves it. Joshua loves the Lego games. I hate them because as much as they're fun little things and the world's nice and the characters are nice, the actual gameplay is shite. The levels are so confusing. You can get stuck in a room for 20 minutes trying to work out what you're meant to do. So my wife plays it with Joshua and they love it, but they have to get the iPad out and Google how to get out of a room. It's just so badly made from a gameplay mechanic point of view.
No chance.
That's shit. But they look nice.
You're fucking mental, you are. Do you know what gameplay is?
Yeah. Gameplay should be
clearly
intuitive.
Fucking not, because Lego games have got some of the fucking
No.
most easy fucking gameplay for kids. Ah, shut up. Anyway, that's another argument for another time. Fucking continue before I fucking start having words, Matthew.
Oh dear.
I think that was a fat no though. Anyway, Neale.
All right, okay, no problem. AD, you mentioned.
I've completed loads and loads and loads of Lego games, but my boy's now getting on for 12, and it's kind of a bit beneath him now. So I think we stopped around, Pirates of the Caribbean, maybe Harry Potter. We did all those, but I think since then we haven't really played them, and he's more into Destiny now and things like that. So no interest in this anymore.
Be honest, you let him play Lego games on your account for the Chivos, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I've done that.
I knew it. Everybody out there that plays Lego games with their kids logs into their own account for the Chivos. So we'll move on then, shall we? Let's move on to the next one. So, right, we're probably going to get into curriculum, and we did last month with this. I don't know whether this game's even worth mentioning, because does anybody know about this next game?
No.
No?
I do, but it doesn't interest me.
Okay, so the next game on the list is This War of Mine, The Little Ones. Now, I think this has been quite popular. I think quite a few people that I know have picked this up. But it's something that I've not really seen the kind of PR for.
There wasn't. There isn't a lot because it's a small company. It was a small game when it came out, and I think this is a sort of small remake or a sort of enhanced version. It's quite niche. I think it's quite a niche game. It's quite dark. I think you have to be in the kind of mood for it. And I thought, I don't need that in my life. It looks a bit sad.
Yeah, completely.
So.
Yeah, I'm not particularly bothered. Okay, so we'll move on then. So that's the kind of games that we've kind of identified that came out in January. We'll move on to the beginning of February now, where there is a couple of big ones in here, which will take the majority of the rest of the show up, I would imagine. Okay, now I know that this is something that Matthew has complained about endlessly on the Facebook page, endlessly on Twitter, and this is where you can unleash your fury, Matthew. How pissed off are you that you're not playing XCOM 2 right now?
Not as much as I was.
What? What's happened?
I have seen some mixed reviews on it. I think it's not quite ready yet. There's been some performance issues on all formats. Including PCs and quite high-spec PCs. And there seems to be some balancing issues, and people who I listened to on other podcasts who were very big XCOM fans, quite a few of them have said it's not quite as good as the last one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it probably will get sorted out, and it will be worth playing. But at the minute, I can wait for this. If we weren't doing the challenge, I would have dropped on it day one, and I'd be enjoying it and loving it. I'm kind of a bit happier about waiting for it. I think by the time we get to 2017, I'll be able to pick this up on Steam for 10 quid, 15 quid.
And it'll be patched to fuck.
It'll be patched to fuck. All the mods, because there's a lot of mod support for this. So, and the mods were a big thing from the last game. I had it on console, so I couldn't get the benefit of that. But now I can play it on PC. They do a lot of mods that tweak the game, and I think I'll be able to go into it with the full package and make it the perfect game for me. So I've kind of made my peace with it, actually.
Oh, good.
Surprisingly.
Do you think, I mean, and this is a very naive point of view, but this is kind of just to provoke topic and debate, I suppose. Is the reason why, do you think the reason why it might be a little bit shagged on release, because it's a PC release, is because it's not been released on consoles, so they've not concentrated as hard on making it a stable platform throughout?
It could be, because I think when they made it available on the consoles, they had to be limited by what the hardware they had to play with, and the controller method, and the controller scheme for XCOM was brilliant, really, really good. And what they have done with this one is, one, it's PC only, and two, no controller support.
See, that's taking a step backwards. Well, not backwards, but a sidestep, surely.
I thought not. I thought, well, PC and keyboard's the way to go with this sort of game. But one I'll get to on my poll progress is a similar style of game, which is mouse and keyboard. And I kind of wish I could have a controller in my hand and sit in my beanbag. So that's another reason why I'm kind of happy to wait, because I reckon they'll patch in control support. And then I think it'll be more like the XCOM I'm used to. So I'm cool with it until probably 2-3 months' time, when everyone says, yeah, now it's the product it should be. And then I'll be like, argh. But for February, I'm all right, actually.
How much is it selling for at the moment? Could you not dip into your Steam credit for this?
I would have to use all my Steam credit. It's $34.99. So that would be
34.
That would be all of my Steam buffer gone.
That's like is that just? I mean, I'm not a PC player, but that sounds quite expensive for PC, doesn't
it?
That's
full price PC game. That is top dollar PC game.
Fucking shite bags. AD, is this on your radar whatsoever?
No, not bothered. I hate games like this. Just do not enjoy playing them. So, no.
Honesty, brutal honesty, people. That's what we're after.
I'm happy that it's broken.
That's a bit mean.
Just
because you don't want to
play it. People have paid full price for it, having a terrible
else.
Time.
But if it wasn't broken, Matt, you'd be wanting to buy it. So it's broken. You're now happy. So you're happy, I'm happy.
Oh, okay. I'll take it back.
Well dug out there, Eddie. Well dug out.
Yeah, that was
I'm the master.
Proper shifting. Jayce, is this even worth talking to you about?
No, I've still got the first one unplayed, so I don't really care.
It's not my type of game. I think I played XCOM on the console, and I vaguely remember it. So if I vaguely remember it, it obviously didn't have an impact on me.
What I will say is that when I do get this, my first squad will be named after you guys. So
sweet.
So you'll be my first little newbies going into battle.
Yeah, send Jayce in first. He's the light infantry.
No. Jayce is the heavy. Jayce and AD are the heavies.
He's been called that before.
Jayce and AD will be the heavies. I think Neale, you'll be the sniper, just playing it tactical from the back, and I'll be the one running around like a dickhead.
Yeah, you call me a tactical back person.
Tactical backdoor action.
Yeah, we'll have some of that later on in the conversation. Okay, moving on then. This is one that I'm kind of. Again, this kind of falls on the fence, which might be up for a little bit of debate. The expansion for Dying Light came out this month, so it's the following for Dying Light. Has anybody played Dying Light, the standalone game?
Sadly not.
No.
I played the demo very, very briefly.
And what did you think?
It scared me.
It's quite a scary game. I've played a lot of it. It's good.
Really quick and really... I like to kind of play in a game like that, kind of get to know my surroundings and get to know the controls. And every time I turned a corner, I'd have like 10 things flying at me, snarling.
Oh yeah.
And I, to be honest, I didn't enjoy it. It kind of put me on edge, so I didn't carry on playing it, and I deleted it off my console.
You were so scared you deleted the demo.
I wasn't scared. It was just unnerved.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't feel safe. I half expected for these things to come flying in the room I was sitting in. It was scary.
That is scary.
You
sound scared to me.
Yeah, when you play the I don't know, I've never played the demo because I bought the game at release, and there's a you get to like the kind of second scene or the second kind of section of the game. And it does take a very turn for the very holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm scared in
it was
what
kind
I'm
of
doing.
It was kind of a shanty town where you had to get from one side to the other. But
is it in the daylight or is it nighttime?
No, daylight. And
what would you play any at nighttime?
No, but
That's
I didn't know the controls, and I weren't used to the controls. So as I was trying to get used to the controls, all these horrible things were happening, and it was just like, I'm not enjoying this. And I turned it off.
It's a fantastic game. It is a really, really good game that I spent a lot of time on when it first came out on the PlayStation 4. But an awful amount of time. I've completed it and really enjoyed it. This expansion is something that obviously we know that DLC is not going to go away. It'll still be here in 2017. But it would definitely be something I'll be looking into playing when I get around to playing it next year.
You happy to wait then?
I'm happy to wait. Yeah, it's not. This won't tempt me in, because it's one of those games. Like AD says, it's quite engrossing. You kind of, when you're playing it, you really feel like you're there, and you really feel like you're kind of part of it because of the kind of fast action, the parkour, the kind of a lot of it's close combat. There's quite a few guns in the game, but you very rarely use them. And it's when you've played 25 hours, 34, 5 hours or whatever, playing that quite solidly, it's kind of a game that you can quite happily shelve and move on with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll play that when it comes out later.
Good man.
Okay. Fearful of time, we will move on. Right. This is a game that I'm very unsure about, and hopefully that one of you guys. I'm looking at ADM Mac because I don't think it's on Jayce's radar at all.
Given that it's PlayStation.
Yes. Oh, yes, exactly. Firewatch.
Oh, don't speak those words.
Matt, don't cry. It's okay.
This one is.
No, do cry. It'll get us some more listeners.
This may. This one I may dip into my Steam credit for. This one is something I've had my eye on for over a year now. I've been following the developer. I've been following the progress of the game. Before I signed up to the challenge, I was watching videos about it and dev logs and everything, and I thought it looked fantastic, and I really was excited about it. And then I signed up for the challenge, and then I remembered it was coming out in February, and then I got sad. And I'm worried.
Do you know anybody that's playing it?
I'm worried I'm going to hear spoilers about this game. I'm trying to avoid them, but I get the feeling there is way more of a twist to this game than I first thought. And I think if I hear that twist or twists, I'll be very sad because I think it will ruin the game.
This is one of the things that I don't think we've discussed yet. Spoilers. Like one of the like, not buying a video game is one thing. Not feeling that you're on the kind of cusp of popularity because you're playing video games that everybody else is another. But then being spoiled by video games is a completely different kettle of fish. Jayce, why didn't you warn us?
Well, you need to have the techniques to avoid spoilers. I avoid spoilers about everything quite easily. I avoid spoilers about films. I avoid spoilers about games. I avoid spoilers about TV shows by just scan reading your feeds on your Twitters and stuff like that. And if you see something about it, then you fucking close the app.
It's
simple as that.
A little bit quicker.
If you just see the name or the slight mention of it, you just don't look. It's very easy not to look for spoilers.
No, it is to a point. The unfortunate, I've seen what I think could be spoilers for the game, just with people trying not to be spoilery, but saying you see a post on Facebook and it says Firewatch, and then it has some words to describe the way they think about it. And some of the words are just vague feelings, and some of the words are quite specific things that are very out of place in what I believe the game to be. And then I'm like, well, hold on a minute. I can start thinking about what that word means now. I haven't had a chance to ignore it because it was literally the first thing I saw. And now I'm thinking, okay, is that what this game... And I already think I've seen things that when I play the game, I'm going to think, oh, fuck, I kind of knew that now. So this is probably, for me, the hardest one. And
Really?
Yeah, definitely. I think AD can, and I'm sure he'll do it without venturing to spoiler territory, but I'm sure he will be able to confirm that this game is not what it seems on the surface.
Yeah,
are you playing this, AD?
No, but again, it's one... I probably would have bought it. It's quite short, so I think from what I've seen, it's about a 5 or 6 hour game. And I saw one post on social media 2 or 3 days ago, which was just saying something about the twist. And I knew nothing about the story. I kind of knew the basics of it. But now someone said there's a twist to it, it kind of made my ears prick up and go, oh, I really want to play you now. But I'm not. And yeah, I completely agree with what Matt says. I think this is something that over the course of the next 11 months, I'm very, very concerned that I will hear what that twist is. And then I probably won't want to play it.
Shit.
My only hope is that, well, I was then going to say my only hope is it comes out for PS Plus, but I don't have PS Plus, so my only hope is I don't hear the spoiler.
I've actually deleted podcasts, including ones I really like Giant Bomb, and Matt Lee's podcast. If it says anything about Firewatch in the show notes, I've actually deleted it, which shows how much I do want to avoid spoilers, and I'm actually missing 2-hour shows because I don't want any insight into it. And I think I'm not going to be able to get through the year without someone giving it away by mistake, and then I'm going to be sad. So I can pick it up for 14 quid on Steam, which will leave me 21 quid for something else later in the year, which you can get games once they've been out for a while on PC for that. So I'm thinking I might drop on it next month. In place of the Division, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing that leads on to like later on. But yeah, by all means, use that credit you've got. But if you could hold out for 2 months, won't it drop a little bit more? Therefore, leaving you more than 21 quid to pay on another big title.
I can't see it dropping much more than 13 quid for a while. That's quite cheap.
When's the next Steam sale? Easter or something?
Yeah, I could probably hold out to April and see if it drops any more. And then I'll be ready for it, I think.
Like, none of us has used a Joker. None of us has used any credit yet that we know of yet that we've got to. So, you can buy a game. You can just, just be cautious not to cheat. That's all. Okay. So, again, because Jayce isn't a PS person, this is not going to be on his list, so we'll move on. Very briefly then, and just because this could kind of spiral a little bit out of control.
Like what you did there. Good little link.
I know. Unravel. Has anybody got this on their radar?
I did have.
Yeah?
Yeah, I stopped myself from downloading because you could get it a 10-hour trial to play the first 2 levels through EA Access.
Yeah.
I've stopped myself from doing it. It looks lovely. It looks really interesting. I've heard mixed reviews. Some people say it's a really fantastic game, but some of the levels are a bit shit. And some people have said they loved it. For me, this is a perfect one that in 6 months' time it's going to be on EA Access for free, and we can all pick it up and we can all play it. So, yes, it was on my radar, but yeah, it's not one that's tempted me at all this month.
Jayce, is it anywhere near you?
I'm pretty much agreeing with Adi, to be honest. It's interesting to me, but it's always going to be there. I don't think it's something I've got to do at the moment. So it's all good. I shall get to Yarny in good time.
Yeah, Yarny. Matthew, anything from you?
Yeah, not that fast. I'll wait till it's cheap and maybe jump on it. But it looks nice, but I think it's all style and not much substance. So I'll pass. What about you, Neale?
It's not. I was just about to say it's not my cup of tea, but it is. But I'm I'm perfectly happy to let this one go by for now. I'm not concerned about it. I'm not concerned. It's not making my ears prickle, my back of my hair, back of my neck, kind of tingle. For anything, so I can let this one slide, and like you say, I'll catch this next year. Okay, so again, moving on. This will be a 3-second thing. Gravity Rush Remastered.
Nah, move on.
Only, yeah. Oh, okay. Nah. Jesus Christ! I didn't expect it to be that quick. Okay, so we've got 2 games left on the list. Now, I'm not sure how these are going to go. So, first and foremost, Street Fighter V came out yesterday, I believe. Anybody bothered?
I have always been gutted that this isn't coming out on Xbox, so I'm happy to leave it and move on. Bastards. If it was on Xbox, I might have dropped on it because the Xbox is missing a proper fucking fighting game, and I do like to play a fighting game. So yeah, I'm just more annoyed at that really than the challenge.
Yeah, I've not been into Street Fighter for years, but I saw some video of there's a character that's got a blue mask on, a female character with a blue kind of eye mask on, with incredibly large breasts, like ridiculously large breasts. I don't get it. I'd like how really? Oh, it freaked me out a little bit. It really freaked me out. Matthew, was it you that was snoring, or was that AD?
It was AD.
That was me.
Yeah. Matthew, are you a Street Fighter guy? Did you put some 20p's into a cabinet when you were younger?
Yeah, when I was very young, I played probably Street Fighter 2 on the arcades, and it was all right. But I'm a massive button masher, and I get bored after about 10 minutes. I haven't got the reactions for those sorts of things, and I'm happy to watch it go by and let other people get excited, waggling their sticks to it. But I won't be waggling any stick in the direction of Street Fighter V.
Excellent. Okay, so that leads us on to our final game, which I think we'll kind of have a bit more conversation about it as well. Ooh, Rocket League for the Xbox One. AD, do you want to kick us off on this, maybe?
Yeah, I bought it.
Oh,
Joker! We need a little jingle for that. Have we got a Joker jingle?
No, I've used my credit. I used
it's
my
£20 credit.
Oh, okay.
That I had on Xbox, and I used it, and I bought it last night, and it's downloaded, and it's waiting for me in an hour and a half's time to have a couple of games before I go to bed.
How much was it?
Sorry?
How much was it?
$15.99.
Oh, that's not too bad.
How much it was on PlayStation, AD?
It was free.
Oh yeah, that was it. It was free.
Yeah. Don't get me started on that one. But it's that type of game. I think you've got 20 minutes. Right, I'm going to go and have a quick game of Rocket League. And I've seen the videos from when it was on PlayStation, and it's right up my street. It looks amazing. My boy did play it on a PlayStation. I think it was at his cousin's house or his friend's house, and he loves it as well. So when I buy a game, because we've got 2 Xboxes, he gets it as well. So it's perfect for us. We can just play this together, and it's just I've been waiting for this for a long time. So yeah, I've used my credit. I know I said I was going to save it for DLC, but I've used my credit and I've got it.
Oh well, that don't matter. So we'll probably hear more. We'll definitely hear more next time about how much you're enjoying it and whether that investment of that Xbox credits could be worth it.
Yeah, I think it will be. As you say, it's me and the boy haven't had a game for a while, which we kind of play together. So for that purpose, it's perfect. I think the last one we really kind of played together was Destiny, that he lost interest in about 6 months ago. So
don't blame him.
So perfect.
Jayce, are you bothered about Rocket League at all?
I am bothered about Rocket League. I am very bothered about Rocket League.
Oh my god!
It's not good enough to take my Joker. And
Oh,
I don't have any credit. I've got £1.08 credit, so I'm not going to get it. So, unfortunately, I shall miss out. Boo.
Boo.
No two ways about it, mate. There's no way I'm dropping a Joker on a fucking on a game like that. As much as I've always wanted to play it, I should have dropped on it on Steam ages ago, but I didn't. So yeah, I don't care. It's fine. I can manage.
I'll let this one pass. Oh, obviously, me and Matt have played a little bit of this before on PlayStation, haven't we, Matt? So we know
We have.
You've got it, and we know we enjoyed it. So we know, Aid, how much enjoyment you're going to get of it. I think you should definitely seek out people in communities to play with, because it is good. Randoms are okay. Playing with friends is so much better.
Yeah, I know on the Facebook page there's a few. I think Bean Edge has said he's gonna drop on it as well. To play
he's a very good player as well, Bean Edge.
Is he?
Yeah, he's really good. So if you get him on your side, if he's on your side, he'll look after you. He's a very good striker.
Good.
So yeah, that's good. Did I just say striker? I'm not fucking American. Okay, so that wraps up what we've missed this month so far. I think we'll move on, shall we?
We should, yes.
Gents?
That's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now we are on to our pal progress section. I think we should rattle through these as quickly as possible. We're going to start with Jayce.
Okay, that's quick then. I've taken a couple of games from a Class 1 to a Class 2. I've started games that I hadn't started before. I did start Transistor in the end, and there's one other which I haven't put on my list yet, but I'll get to it. But yeah, I'm just making little bits of progress. I'm going to start something properly. I'm going to blast through Transistor, I think, and then I'm going to start something a bit bigger. I think maybe I'm going to do Sunset Overdrive, which I've been on about for ages.
I was hoping you'd name the actual title so we can even take more piss out of you in March when you don't actually play any games or the title that you mentioned.
Do it.
We will.
It's when I reach across to my pile of discs and I'm like, I need to pick up Sunset Overdrive to put it in. Oh, my hands landed on Trials Fusion again. I best put that in. That's what
I saw you
happened
playing that the other night for hours.
I fucking love Trials. You know I do.
Oh man! So you're playing? Oh, so you're playing Fusion, are you?
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm trying to get all the platinums. It's difficult, man.
Because the Trials HD.
Now got Trials HD available on backwards compatibility as well.
Oh yeah, so I've gone back and got a couple of achievements on that actually that I needed to mop up.
Oh, I'm tempted to. Well, I've downloaded the HD. I enjoyed that when it was out. I might go back to that as well. Okay, so we'll zip over to AD. What have you been playing, dude?
I finished Fallout 4.
Yep.
I think it was about 2 or 3 days after we recorded the last time, so I got all the achievements and finished it with with 2 different endings.
Nice.
I then moved on and played a game called 3/4 Home. When I say game, I use that in a very, very loosest way possible. It was a 3-hour hold a button down and select a dialogue choice. And the really fucking annoying thing was you had to do it again in order to get one last achievement. You had to play the game halfway again, which I never really understood. I started playing it at 8 o'clock on a Sunday, and by 10:30 I'd finished and got 1,000 gamer score. That's how small and insignificant that game was. So I didn't enjoy that at all. But it's gone. I then moved on to King's Quest, which was a new version. And do you know what? I absolutely loved that. That's an awesome game. It looks good. The gameplay is good. The puzzles are. I think sometimes those old kind of point and click adventures fell into the kind of trap of like you had to pick up some blancmange and a book in order to open a door, and it was completely not obvious that that's what you had to do. But this game didn't do that, and everything felt kind of nice and right.
Sweet.
And the voice acting was fabulous as well. Really, really funny.
I've noticed the voice acting from the videos I've seen that it's actually really kind of really witty and really with it.
Yeah. So I love that. So that's kind of, I'm a bit gutted that I'm not going to be able to play the rest of those yet. I'm going to have to wait till next year for those. But so really enjoyed that. I then decided to take 2 games off my list without playing them. This is where you're going to hear Jayce scream. Halo Master Chief Collection and Halo 5.
What?
Which weren't my games. They're my son's
What?
games.
Sorry, I was muted then. I couldn't express my rage.
Wait, I'm just as angry as Jayce is. What the fuck are you doing?
I just don't get Halo.
Then
why have you bought them? You're on the fifth one.
I've tried playing it. They're not mine. They're my boy's games because he loves playing the campaign on them. And I put them on the list because I thought, do you know what? At some point I will get around to it. But I've just had to be tough for myself and say, do you know what? There's no point them being on the list. I'm not going to have time to play them. I don't enjoy them when I do play them. So I've just taken them off. They've gone. Right,
I'm not trying to change your mind, but if you would have told me this beforehand, we could have played them co-op, because they're on my list as well.
I've tried, mate. I really have. I've tried Halo 1.
And I'll always play co-op with you.
First came out, and again when they did the kind of the new and improved edition, whatever it was, and I didn't get it then, and I've started it on the Master Chief Collection, and I still don't. I just don't enjoy them. And I know it's I know it's not the thing to say, but I've got to be honest with myself.
No, this is a confessional. Gone. This is priest. You're in a church right now, in a confessional.
You're among friends, AD. It's all right. Well, you were among friends. I'm not so sure now.
Jayce now hates your guts.
I know. And then, finally, Life is Strange.
Oh, here we go. Okay, let's clear the floor. We're going to give you 2 to 3 minutes, AD, to get it off your chest
without spoilers.
That is one of the best games I've played in a long, long time. Story-wise, three particular moments in the series that just made me sit and just in stunned silence, kind of not believing what I've just seen, being completely moved by what's just happened, and the very, very last decision you have to make. As Neale said last time, I put the controller down, I walked into the kitchen, I thought about it, I got a drink, I went back, I sat, and I made a decision, and it was so difficult. And it is just, story-wise, that is one of the best games I've played in years, and I absolutely loved it. And if they announced Life is Strange 2 that comes out in September, I seriously don't know whether I'd be strong enough not to buy it. I absolutely fucking loved it. Every minute of it.
Don't cry, Matthew. It's okay.
I will add in this point that, along with Firewatch, I may also use my Steam credit for this game.
Oh, the Steam credit's wittering away. I'm loving this.
I know.
I'm loving it.
It's February and it's gone.
I'll wait till April. I'll wait for the April sales. But these two games, Firewatch and this, are really my cup of tea at the minute. And again, I don't want to see a spoiler for Life is Strange and ruin it.
No, you
won't. The thing is, it's been out for so long now. If you were going to get spoiled, you would have been spoiled by now.
Yeah.
I think it's these two types of games. I don't know about Firewatch because I've never played it, but what you were mentioning earlier on about being in a bit of a funk about like looking at your list and thinking, I don't want to play anything, because you need something that's engaging, something that pulls you in. And Life is Strange has got that Netflix next episode feeling to it. Once an episode's finished, you want to know what happens in the next one, and before you know it, you've watched 7 episodes of The Homeland before you know it.
Yeah,
it's that type of thing. So I think when it comes around and it's your opportunity to buy it, Matt, you'll enjoy it, and you'll be on board with it definitely.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad AD enjoyed it because I knew he would.
Yeah, it was, and you will message us, Matt, and just on each of those 3 moments with a, oh my fucking god!
Wow.
Yeah.
It would just be. It's a real talking point, and it was kind of. It got to the stage I was going in the other room and telling my wife what happened. You know, what was the next? Because I played it over 5 nights, 1 episode a night, and it was just like going in. Oh, this has happened. What's happened to so and so? Oh, this has happened to so and so. And I think I messaged you, Neale, didn't I? One night and said, I think I can see something coming, and then 5 minutes later it was fucking hell, I knew it. And it was just.
That was about
brilliant.
11:30 at night as well, and bear in mind I go up at 5:30 in the morning. That was quite late, but it was. I really glad you enjoyed it, and you've had more than your 3 minutes. So let's move on.
Yes,
so
move on.
You really enjoyed it. So any other games you've been played off your list?
That's it, because I finished that on what day is it today? I finished it Sunday, I think.
Yeah, we're on Tuesday.
And I've not started anything else yet. I've just not had the time, so I'm ready to start something else kind of Friday this week.
Okay, good. Okay, Matt, I'll go through rattle through my games quite quickly, so you and you can go last if you don't mind. Okay. So briefly mentioned, and I won't go into any details because Jayce will reach through the internet and punch me in the face. Is I completed Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and I liked it. That's enough about that. Because I know how much you hate it, so
it doesn't matter. It's not my opinion. It's your section to say what you've enjoyed.
Well, I enjoyed it. It's made me enjoy Assassin's Creed games again, and I was very surprised. It did make me feel like any open world game that's like that the next game I play to completion shouldn't be of that ilk. So I'm not going to look to Far Cry 4. I'm not going to look to Watch Dogs or anything like that's on my list, because it's going to be this rinse repeat. So I enjoyed it. I really thought it was good, and I enjoyed the characters and the story. But it has made me kind of a bit, right, I need something different now. Another game that I've played, but it's kind of like I've just dismissed it like Matt did with Papers, Please, is I did give Grim Fandango Remastered a go. I just didn't... It's not for me. I don't think. I don't know whether you guys have ever played it before, like the original, this remaster or anything like that. It wasn't for me at all. I didn't enjoy it. So, yeah, not bothered. I'm just going to scratch that off. Games that I've started and games that I'm playing at the moment, I have started Shadow of Mordor.
Good game,
Oh, yeah. Don't bother. Fucking throw it in the bin.
I platinumed that. One of my few platinums.
What do you mean, Jayce? What do you mean throw it in the bin? Why?
It's Assassin's Creed shit.
You're such a grumpy fuck.
Assassin's Creed Mordor is what it should be called.
It's not Assassin's Creed shit.
Fucking is Assassin's Creed. Let me climb to the top of this tower and fucking stand on top of it and open up the next bit of a fucking map that's got all the fucking items all marked on the map. Bullshit. It's fucking Assassin's Creed.
And
I do agree with that, but I also agree there's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah.
I played that kind of a year ago and I loved it.
Yeah, it's very good.
Well, I'm enjoying it. I think the difference is, though, Jayce, where I can see what you mean about opening up that next section of mapping. You can see what's the submissions and the main missions in that kind of when you open that tower up. One of the good things I think is obviously this Nemesis system that you're introduced to, which is quite daunting. Like this is the second time I've tried to play this game. The first time I played it, I played about 5 hours in one go, but I was far too drunk to know what I was doing. And I made a massive hash of it, and I was running into sections just full of orcs and getting my arse whooped. But since the challenges started, I've put it in, and I've got the Game of the Year edition on my Xbox, and yeah, slowly and steadily, I'm enjoying it. It's actually quite a good game. There's a lot more hidden underneath with the talent trees that you would normally get from an Assassin's Creed game. An Assassin's Creed game is more kind of the currency, how much money you can make to buy your costumes and your knives and stuff. This is a bit more kind of like a lot more to do with the lore of Lord of the Rings as well, which makes it enjoyable, I think. But it's very good. I'm about 2 hours in or so, and I'm enjoying myself. And I think it's, even though it is an open world game, and I'm contradicting to what I've just said about staying away from something that's Assassin's Creed like, I quite like this one. And I think the other game that I've been playing that I need to mention, because it's got a massive hold on my balls at the moment, is I've really got back into Diablo 3. It's not on my list because I've completed it once before, but it has sucked up about 50 hours of my life in the last 2 weeks. Really, really got back into it. I don't know whether you guys have ever played it before or whether we can play together. Please say you can play together because I really enjoy it.
No.
I've always fancied this game, but I've never dropped on it. I kind of like the idea of it. I've got a game similar on my list, similar style of game.
It's really good. Jayce, have you ever played Diablo?
I can't stand games where you get your mouse and you go click 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 repeat for the entire fucking night, which is all Diablo was. So yeah, stick it.
But the console version is better because I never played the PC version, and the console better.
Is that
version,
let me guess? A.
No, it's more right trigger hold. Directional third, your left directional stick in all directions, and then a couple of X and Bs to throw out some spells and stuff like that. It's good, but all those kind of loot games are like that. It's all about the repetitive, and that's why some people's middle initials is OCD, isn't it? That's what their fibre, what they're made of. But it's got something about it that's really, really addictive and gripping. And I think you would like it, Matt. And I think if it will never, but if it ever goes for free this year, you should buy it. If not, I'm going to buy it for you next year.
Oh,
you should definitely play together.
You can show me the ropes.
Awesome. It'd be bloody awesome.
Yes.
Okay, so that's me. So Matthew, we're on to you. What have you been doing? What you knocked? Well, you've kind of touched briefly about the groove, the funk that you're in at the moment. But is there anything that you want to talk about? Anything you've been playing?
Yeah, a little bit. So Far Cry 4 has gone to Class 2. I started playing that and I played 10 hours or so.
Wow, well done.
Kind of hasn't gripped me yet, although I have crafted some bits that have made me able to actually have a fight with people more, and I'm getting into it, but it is huge. The map is just huge. There's 17 towers to go and climb up and then open up the map, a bit like Assassin's Creed.
Yay.
And that's a big map. So I think I'm probably going to just streamline through the story a bit. I'm not going to go for full-on completion and exploration. I'm going to sort of have fun with it and blow shit up and cause some chaos and get through the story. So I've Class 2'd that. I started playing Transformers Devastation, which a lot of people were going on about. Not really my cup of tea. It looks nice. It's very retro and brings you back to the 80s and when you were watching Transformers on telly. But I'm not a fan of those style of fighting games. So I think I'm about halfway through. I'll have that cleared. I've put on my list that I will clear that by the next show. And by clear it, I mean I'll complete the story, which probably isn't a true Class 5 for that game, but for me that'll do. And the only other one that I've really put some time into is Hard West, which is an XCOM style game set in the Wild West on the PC. Again, it hasn't really gripped me like XCOM did, and I think maybe that's why I'm not as fussed about XCOM 2, because I thought this game would really get me chomping at the bit for it, and it hasn't. So I'm aiming to finish this one by the next show as well. I'm going to Class 5 this, which is just completing the story missions. It's quite a big game. I'm only about a quarter of the way through, so that's a big challenge for me. And that's kind of it. I really want to play Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, but I'm holding off because that's my last game of that type on my list, and then I've got no more short games.
Yeah, but you can buy some.
I probably will. So I haven't had a very good month this month, but so I want to tick Transformers and Hard West off Class 5 by the next show, and I've got Far Cry 4 up to a Class 3.
Excellent.
That's me.
Excellent. No, we've done all right. I think we've got a good mixture of obviously we have a rainbow of activity from Jayce doing absolutely nothing through to AD completing in 6 games. So, which is fantastic, really. Jayce, on to the next section, dude.
Right, should we move on? Community feedback section then. Well, we had a couple of questions we need to address. We had a question from our friend Ollie over in Germany, who said, "What will you do with all the money you save this year?" Mine's fairly easy. I'm going to buy parts of my mountain bike.
There you go. It'd be like a Transformer by the end of the year, surely. It'd be that expensive.
So. Neale, what are you doing?
Beer,
obviously.
I'm probably spending it on beer. I'm more than exactly. I'm obviously buying a house and stuff, so a lot of the money goes towards that, and the other half's trips to IKEA. So I think I'm seeing the effects already. I'm actually seeing more money in my account already, which is fantastic. And I think I'll spend that on good stuff for the house.
Good boy.
Matt, what about you?
Well, I've been shit. I've actually put a section on my sheet, which I'll post up on Facebook. Our sheets up on Facebook later. I have a column for what I spent on vaping kit. And I've actually spent more on vaping kit than I've saved on not buying games so far this year. So I've got...
You've that much of an addictive personality.
Yes, I've gone down a massive vaping rabbit hole and bought loads of things and started building my own coils and all sorts of nerdy things. So I'm spending all of it on that, which is probably not in the spirit of the challenge.
No. Well, it is... But you're just basically wasting money on another addiction, aren't you?
Yes.
Oh, poor Matthew.
I know. Sorry.
AD, what are you spending your money on?
I think I'm going to save it all in order to buy all the games I've missed next year.
Now that's definitely not spirit of the challenge. That's definitely not.
No, to be honest, I haven't got anything I'm really planning to spend it on. I do want a new laptop at some point, so I might treat myself to a nice MacBook later on this year, but at the minute I've got no real plans.
Oh, nice laptop would be nice.
Easy
I could
done.
do. I could do.
Okay, next question. This is from our good friend Mr. Matt Moore. Now, I didn't quite understand this comment that came up on the Twitter, or on the Facebook, but he's basically saying, are we getting involved in the retweet competitions on Twitter to get freebie games? This is something I certainly did on the last time I was on the challenge. I was entering retweet and follow competitions on Twitter like fucking 10 men to try and get free games. I didn't fucking win any, but yeah, I think that's perfectly acceptable. I wouldn't. It's nothing I wouldn't do anyway normally. As long as you don't spam everyone's fucking timeline with it, I think it's all right.
I think, but has anybody here actually ever won anything from one of those competitions?
Yes,
I have.
Yeah.
Have you?
I actually my copy of XCOM for the PlayStation it was the Xbox at the time. I won that on IGN on a retweet competition with IGN. So actually it's the only competition I've ever entered on Twitter, and I won. So real people do win
100% record,
prizes.
nice.
Jayce, did you say you won something as well?
I have. I can't remember what the fuck it was, but I know I've won several of these things.
Several.
I've certainly won some codes and stuff like that for different games before. I don't keep a track on these things, mate. I've slept since then.
Yeah, of course. I won't be shy away. I'm not very lucky in competition, so I don't think it's. I will probably put myself forward, but I'll probably not win anything. AD, is this kind of up your boat?
Yeah, I've had a few in the past as well. The last one I had was one of the Major Nelson Free Code Fridays.
Oh, you bitch!
Probably a year or so ago, I won a copy of a game called Roundabout, which is a revolving limousine. Watch a video; it all makes sense then. Hence, it's on my pile.
Revolving limousine sounds like a fucking sex move that I have no idea about.
No, it's actually a revolving limousine.
There's a sex move Neale doesn't know anything about.
Yeah.
Hang on.
After the Midlife Gaming Show, I
It's
can't
very
believe
new,
that.
mate. It's probably 2016.
Yeah.
I'm very 2004. Carry on.
Yeah, and I've had a few before from various things on Twitter as well. Back in the 360 days, but if I see one for a game I want, too fucking right, I'm entering it.
Yeah, of course. Why don't you?
Yeah.
Next question.
Well, no. Before we move off that question entirely, on the subject of Twittery things, not so much a competition, but I was on Twitter the other day, and somebody on my timeline said, "Looks like I've got two codes for the Fallout 4 Season Pass." I said, "Well, give me the other one then." And he said, "I'm not sure if it works, but I'll give you anyway." And he gave me the code, and it worked. So I've got the season pass of Fallout 4 from Twitter. It didn't cost me any money.
That is amazing.
So big shout out to that guy. I can't remember who it was, but I will tweet him on the thing. I'm expecting to get ripped out at this point by all and sundry, but crack on, boys.
No, dude, that is amazing. You know what? That's even amazing news because they've announced today that the season pass is going up in price.
Yeah, I thought that was good. So yeah.
We'll just be careful we're not heading into Terry Fox's lottery-winning friend area here.
I don't know anything about that.
No, we're not going to go into that territory. No, we're not going to do that.
The first year of the challenge, Terry, his friend, won the lottery and proceeded to buy him a lot of games.
How convenient!
And that's very good. So on to the next bit of community feedback, Jayce.
Yeah, we've got a person along with us on the challenge. One of the guys who posts regularly on the Facebook group, by the name of Mr. Ben Jenkins, and Ben Jenkins is now known as Mr. Backdoor Methods because every couple of minutes, it seems, or probably every few days, he pops up and says, with my rules on this challenge, am I allowed to insert clause here? So he's got. Recently, we've had, am I allowed to borrow games off my mate? Am I allowed to sign into my mate's PlayStation with my account because he's got the game on his PlayStation he's already bought, so it's not really me buying it. Where do we stand with some of Ben's backdoor methods?
You know what? If any of us actually cheat ever, we should name it. We're doing a Ben Jenkins.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Because it just seems like a lot of the things he's asked are pretty legitimate. Can I borrow games? Well, technically you can. Obviously, you make your own rules. But some of the things he's like, if somebody leaves the game at my house and they ask it back in 3 weeks, can I keep it for 5? Oh, come on now, you're taking it into the 10th degree. I have no idea. What's other people's opinions on this?
I think we should allow Ben to continue down his path because everyone sets their own rules. I think what we need to be clear on is that Ben's rules are not the rules that we live by.
Yes.
I think Backdoor Ben can be Backdoor Ben, and we can we can marvel in his creative genius, but we are not Backdoor Euroshamers.
We're going to put one of the memes up. This is Backdoor Ben. Ben does everything he can to play games, even though he's supposed to be on this challenge, and he's not strong enough to keep up with it. Yeah. Don't be like Ben.
Yeah, don't be like Ben.
Yeah.
Ben, we're watching you, Ben.
Yeah, we've got our eyes on you.
Right, nobody say the word Ben anymore. It's getting too much press as it is. But yeah, we are watching you, so expect more of that coming up. I'm sure he's got another. The aliens abducted me and they anal probed me, but they managed to leave behind
a copy of XCOM 2.
XCOM 2 up my arse. Yeah. Am I allowed to play it?
Is it okay to download the mods? Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the more light we shine on it, the more it's easier for him to come up with another excuse.
Yeah, as we've always said, you can do whatever you like with your own rules. It's all a matter of what is within the spirit of the challenge you set for yourself. So, being upstanding members of the community as we are, we're trying not to follow the Ben Jenkins route. So that's the answer to that question.
We'll keep away from those, definitely. Okay. So
we have had also some 2 more submissions from the community, eagerly awaited by a lot of people. There's one from Trev.
Are you joking?
So that's going to be at the end of the show. So listen after the music. I think Backdoor Ben's sent another one in as well, so that could be interesting to see what nonsense is coming up with on there. So yeah, after the music at the end of the show, make sure you listen to the community submissions, and if you want to send some yourself, please get them into us.
Yeah, so quickly, I'm very looking forward to Trev's submission and Ben's submission. It's going to be good. How long is Trev's submission? Do we know?
Well, I did ask people to keep them under 3 minutes, so shit bust, it will be under 3 minutes. We'll have to edit half an hour of it out.
When Trev gets a subject matter in mind, fucking hell, King Kong can pull him away. So I'm looking forward to them. Okay, so that's that. We'll move on to the domestics. So if you've got questions, comments, anything you want to post to us, any kind of submissions you want to make, if you want to tell us how you're enjoying the podcast, what you're not enjoying about it, if you want to tell us about your particular part of the challenge and the things that you're going through, be it an email or be it an audio comment, please email the details through to Euroshame. So it's actually YoSchallenge4@gmail.com. And again, like Jayce has mentioned on the previous one, if the file's too big and you want to do a bit of a Dropbox share or your media choice share, you can make those arrangements through there. What you should definitely do also as well is get following the YoSchallenge challenge on Twitter, which is under @YoSChallenge4. which you should definitely follow because that's kind of latest updates. You should also get yourself onto Facebook and kind of do a bit of a quick search on YoS 4 as well, because that would be fantastic, because that's where kind of a lot of daily activity and daily kind of bitching and moaning goes on between all of us, and where Backdoor Ben gets lots of his excuses out. And you should definitely get your iTunes reviews in. I think it's something that that we're really encouraging, that, you know, especially because the way that the podcast is taking off. If you're enjoying it, let us know how much you're enjoying it, and let the rest of the podcast community know how much you're enjoying it, and we can spread the word. Do we have any update on that, guys? Have we got any? Is something special going on?
Yeah, I think because we haven't had many iTunes reviews, we need to kind of grease the wheels a bit. So for those people who are on the challenge and those people who aren't, if you're going to leave us an iTunes review, what we're going to start doing is seeing what codes we've got lying around. So I've certainly got some Steam codes. I know Adie's got some codes lying around. So if we can get some iTunes reviews off you people, and if we deem them to be good enough, or flattering enough, or sycophantic enough, or just honest enough. If you think we're shit, tell us we're shit, and you still might get a code, to be honest. But yeah, we might have some codes to give away, so get your reviews in, and we'll try and sort that out for the next episode.
That'd be awesome. So I think that's us done, guys. I think we're spent for February. So anything else? Anybody else wants to say anything else? Anybody wants to nib in right at the very end?
Yeah, just before we go, just another big thank you to everyone who has downloaded. We have had a massive number of downloads for the first couple of shows, to be honest with you, more than we were expecting anyway.
Oh, yeah.
And long may that continue. You know, pass the word around to other people who might be interested. We're trying to keep the standard of the show up, so people are enjoying it. If you think there is anything we can change, by all means, get back on that email and let us know. Anything you want to ask us, get your questions in there by any of the media that Neale's mentioned, and just keep listening, and we'll attempt to get some games played before next time, won't we?
Exactly.
All of us.
Excellent. I think it's a case of spread the word, feel the pain, and stay strong. So, just a bit of a kind of self promotion as is. If you want to follow us any of us on Twitter, as well as the actual thing, you can get Jayce on Jayce Stokes at Jayce Stokes. You can get AD on ADEMGEE. And you can get Matt on Egg Daddy, and you can follow me at Baron Von Pleb. If you want to hear some ramblings and any of the kind of the crosswords that we kind of share between the frustrations that we've got regarding the challenge going forward, you can definitely get us on there. And I think that's it. I think we're done. I think we're going to sign off now, get some more gin and tonics inside us, and wait to see what March has got in store for us all.
Yes, bring on March.
Bring it on.
Come on, boys. We can do this.
Can't wait.
We can do this. Stay strong.
All right, stay strong, everyone. See you soon.
See you later.
See you later, everyone.
Bye.
The Year of Shame Challenge.
Hi guys, how you doing? It's Trevor here, also known as Trev DXB. I'm a bit of a Sony pony, and I do drop in the PC every so often. I was part of the community for Year of Shame 1. That's how I know Darren and Jayce. Did say I'd never put myself through this again, but like Neale, I've got property to pay for this year, so here I am. The pile crept back up a bit, PSN Plus added to it. So I've picked about 50 games to try and clear, but I'm not bothered if I don't. I think I'm good anyway. This year I've got Fallout 4 and Witcher 3, all with season passes. So I think the only game this year that might sort of tempt me would be Dishonored 2. So everyone, good luck, keep the faith, and trust me, the Year of Shame does actually affect your overall spending habits through the year. Hey, an amazing look, I didn't fucking swear once, cool!
All right, peeps, it's Jayce. I was just finishing the edit, and there's supposed to be another audio submission that goes just here from Mr. Ben Jenkins himself. And guess which Muppet forgot to attach the MP3 to his email? So, Ben, you're a bad man, but it gives me another chance to rip you. Get it sorted for next time, yeah? Hope you all enjoyed the show. Catch you next time in a bit.